So, so a lot of people don't know how to butcher chicken. So I thought today I'd walk through one. Got some Cornish cross, been growing out on the farm, and thought this would be a good opportunity just to kind of walk through how to do it without spending a lot of money. This year, I really wanted to update our system to the $6,000 setup with the dunk tank and the kill cone rack and the you know the everything, the chill tank and everything. But let's see what else. Oh yeah, and of course the auto plucker. But I didn't do that. Didn't spend the $6,000, $6,000. So I can do this by myself, one chicken maybe every 20, 30 minutes, and I'll just take you from start to finish. It isn't going to be perfect. It's not like you're selling these commercially. These are just your chickens off your farm, and here's how we do it. So this setup is, just a pot from the garden that we've cut a little bit of hole in. Here, take a look at that hole. So that way we can put the neck in there, and we just got a 2x4 stand. And then down here we have a pan with some water for the blood to drip in, and then we'll use that for putting on some of the plants. So we'll just kind of take the chicken and put it down in here. Sometimes they don't want to go, and that's okay. Okay, so the way to do it with a chicken without the most humane way is to make a cut here on this artery and a cut on this artery over here. And so you're not going to hit the windpipe, you're not going to cut off the head. And you can see how it can be. So we'll just do that real quick. On this side, on that side. And we'll just drain that out into the pan. Now the first time you do chickens, if you've never done them before, everybody's gonna cry. And that's okay. Well, next time you do chickens, the second time, there won't be as much crying, and then you get used to it. And you can be grateful and thankful for the chicken. And we're just going to let it drip out. See, this way, if you don't hit the windpipe, it's a lot less traumatic on the chicken. The knife I like to use is this Victorinox. Get these on Amazon. They're very sharp. I like them for butchering. So the next thing you want to do is put your chicken in the scalder, and I've got this water nice and hot. It's not boiling, it's not cold, it's not warm. It's just at the right temperature. And what I like to do is dunk it and spin it around. And one of these propane burners, these are relatively cheap. I think you can get these for like 120 bucks. They might be more now. Everything's doubled in the world. So they're probably 200 bucks. But that and your refillable propane tank you can just take down to the store. Very handy to have. And I like to move the chicken around. So you can take the foot like this and kind of dip it and get it all, you know, all in those feathers in the back, in the front. You can take the other foot, swish it around with that. I kind of like to use these tongs I have for the grill because I can just kind of grab the chicken. Now, I'm keeping the feet. I like the extra collagen. And we'll just spin it around here. Let's see. Let's grab. Now what the test I like to do is, will a tail feather come off easy? And if it does, we're done. Now we can take it out. So, you know, if you don't have a plucker, that's okay. If you have it at the right temperature, the feathers will just pull out easy, and you can do it with your hands. I know it takes a little bit longer, but your upfront costs are going to be really low when you're just using your labor. So you can kind of spin it. You can take the feathers off in a bunch. You can leave them right there in the trap. I go back to everybody should have chickens. If you're in a neighborhood, well, you might have to get stealth chickens. You have a HOA guy who drives around in a sports car. Yeah, well, maybe you need some quail. Nobody knows about. I like to get it nice and plucked. Oh, sometimes the skin will rip, you know, depending on if your temperature's a little hotter than it should be. The water, that's how you know, oh, I'm a little hot. Or I left it in there a little too long to scald. And that's why I said it's not going to be perfect when, you know, you don't have your thermometer in the water and, you know, $1,000 scalder. Yeah, not gonna be perfect. This isn't for selling. This isn't for commercial. This is for you. With the cold and flu season hitting us this summer of 24, a lot of people getting sick. You're gonna want to get some of these organic chickens, or farm raised, or the best quality you can. Maybe the Costco double pack. And you're going to want to make some chicken soup from scratch. So healthy, so good for you. It'll help you get over what ails you. Now I'm to that point where it's just all the little annoying ones to get off. Right? I've got the majority of the feathers, so now it's just some of the follicles, some of the little hairs, and that can be a little tedious when doing it by hand, but it's also very relaxing. You know, you can kind of listen to the sounds of nature around you outside. We're almost done plucking here. So what I'm going to do, just kind of wrap that up, and then we'll get on to the butchering part. That's all the plucking is done. Underneath the wings, sometimes there's a lot of feathers you're kind of missing under there. Well, not too bad. Alright. Well, that's probably good enough. Still see some feathers though. Alright, let's get on to butchering. So then we'll start taking off the head, and then I like to bend these guys up. Cut them off. You bend them from the bottom, they come off really easy. All right, and then there's more than one way to open the chicken. Some people like to just come in along the side. You can also come in along the top, and then get your hole, and then open it up with your fingers as you move in. Okay, and then what we're going to do is reach our hand in, and pull everything out. And we're going to be kind of careful in this step because we want to keep the liver intact. That off to the side. We're going to keep all the good stuff today. All right, then once you get guts out, you come down the right side. And then I have to come down the left side, and I just kind of sweep it out with my knife and put the whole thing unpunctured right here into the trash. And then you got to reach in, and this is a little bit tricky, but you got to take out the lungs. You don't want the lungs left over. All right, so I got the lungs out. Now this is a very important step. The first chickens I ever butchered, my friend Scott gave to me, and I didn't take off the glands. So just take off the glands just like that, throw it away. And I cooked them in the pot and the whole house stunk. So do not do that. And then there's a lot of different ways to kind of do the neck, okay? But basically you're just trying to take off the windpipe, and here we go. Missed. Okay, so then I like to take the rest. You're supposed to let the chicken not eat for like 12 hours before. I didn't do that today. There's a lot of those little tricks that are like, best to do, and sometimes I don't do them. Okay, so then makes it a lot cleaner though. So then I kind of take some of the excess skin off, and then we'll take off the neck. I like to give it a little cut. Some necks are easier to take off than others, depending on if you hit the right spot. You can just kind of work your knife around. You don't want to dull it too much in the bone. And sometimes you can just see right there where to cut, and it'll just come right off. So then put the neck in the pile. And the next step, we're ready to wash. All right, so now we're just going to give everything a little rinse off. The liver and the heart are awesome. I love keeping that out of every chicken. And the neck, we want to make sure we clean off that really well. And a lot of people don't keep the feet. I recommend keeping the feet, but you've got to take off the skin and the claws. And so with the skin, I don't know if I got this one already. No, maybe I didn't. It's not coming off very easy. Sometimes if you wait too long after dunking them, then you have to redunk them in the hot water to get the skin back off. So I'll do that here in a minute. I'll put those to the side. And then with the gizzard, same thing as we did with the crop. We're just going to cut it like this and peel it open. Put all that good stuff back here to share with his old friends back in the run. And then you want to take off this yellow skin part on the inside of the gizzard. All right, let's come back over here. Throw this skin away. And then we gotta wash the gizzard really good because there's a lot of little small rocks in here, and you don't want to be crunching on those when you're eating soup. So that's good enough for now. I'll clean the rest later. And now we give the chicken a final rinse off. What I like to do in the final rinse of the chicken is this is where I come through and I get really nitpicky about the last of the feathers, the last of the little hairs that are here. And this is where I just clean it up really good. One thing I want to do is check, hey, did I actually get the gland? Okay, I did get the gland. And then, okay, get the other feathers. And then also you want to make sure, oh, did I do a good job and get all of the lung? Make sure I got all the lung. And then also you don't want any of the tube left in there. See how there's a little bit left over? You want to get all that out of there. Oh, sometimes you can pull it out. Sometimes you have to cut it a little bit. But yeah, you definitely want to get all that out. So then it's just meat and skin. Get the final feathers off. This is where you want to be picky. You want to be detailed and get all the last of the feathers off. And then after this, I like to set it in the cooler of ice water. Let that rest for a while. And then from there, I usually like to put it in the fridge for a day or two. And then after that, I can either eat it fresh, cut the pieces and grill it, marinate it and grill it, or throw it in the crock pot and make a nice soup. Nice chicken soup, especially when you've got somebody in the family who's sick. Or maybe you're sick and you need it. Maybe I should do a video on that. Yeah, these little feathers here, this can be tedious work, but I think it's worth it to have a nice, and sometimes the skin will tear, and that is an indication of your water or your rough handling or the breed or maybe just the chicken. I like to eat the skin too. Now let's talk about the feet a little bit. I like to put the feet in with the chicken, and the reason is when I crock pot a whole chicken, the reason is because there's a ton of collagen in the feet. So don't go not eating the feet, and you're not eating the bones and everything, but you're eating all the connective tissue in here, and all that collagen is good for your skin. 10% of your muscle is collagen. Oops, a little too rough there. So normally I would redunk these in the water, but I'm trying to just get done for the day, this last one, and get some dinner. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video has helped. And if you have other ideas or other tips, please leave them down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.